Hello and welcome back to Timberborn 1.0 Experimental. Yes, if you haven't heard, the developers have announced the 1.0 update for the game, and they have released it on the experimental branch so that you can have a go, but beware, there may be bugs and stuff that comes along with that. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the new features of the game from this update. Let's begin by firstly explaining how to actually get on to the experimental version of the game. All you need to do, right click on your Timberborns, go onto properties, come down to betas, and then click on this drop menu here, beta participation, and then you'll see it there, experimental branch. Once you click on that, you'll notice that the down here will start updating. Once it's complete, run the game as normal, start new game, and there you have it. You will be in this experimental branch of the game, and then you'll be able to test the new features of update 1.0. So they released 2 new maps for the game, and this is one of the maps here, named Pressure. You start in a circular style valley surrounded by cliffs, and you're kind of greeted with 2 natural style tunnels with a kind of stream running through it, as you can see. It gives a lot of depth to this map. I think it looks really cool. There are various areas for your colony to expand into, with obviously a lot of turd water supplies going around. And the map itself is actually huge. It's one of the larger ones you can play on, with a lot of diversity in this map. I'm really excited to actually give this map a go. It's going to be really cool, I think. And this being map 2. Again, as you can see, you start in a circular area in the centre of the map, with 1 patch of green on this one, with nothing else. Everything else is pretty much desert. Death awaits away from this oasis, which is actually the name of the map. Probably not as hilly and cliffy as the other one, but it's still got plenty of natural little tunnels and ravines, open style plains, and gorges for your beavers to explore. As well as 2 new maps, they've upgraded the visuals of the game. As you can see here, as I pan across this lake, you will see the water has a glare on it, which looks really, really cool. Like when you actually compare the 2 from the old version to this one, the difference is actually pretty incredible. They've done a really, really good job here. Really like it. You may have noticed the grass looks greener. It's because it actually is. They've increased the brightness and the contrast of the game to make it pop visually. It looks really, really good. Again, the difference when you notice it is quite substantial. And if I stop here, look at the sky, it's blue. And being on this one now, I'm trying to think what the sky colour was before. I think it was a kind of orangey hue colour, but they've actually changed it to blue, so a sunny day looks like a sunny day. Little things, little things. They've also changed the terrain gradient. Basically hills and riverbanks. They look more natural. They look more easier on the eyes, you know? And one of my favourite visual changes for this update that they've done is underwater objects have a slight, ever so slight quiver to them. As you can see here, if you look at these edges on this underground structure down here, you'll see that it's slightly shivering. And since you're already here talking about it, let's move on to the new natural objects that the devs have introduced to the new update. One of them being the water seep. Now, kind of like a water source, but basically it's a smaller version. Taking up 2 by 2 blocks, this will only fill an area of water up to 0.8 blocks high. As you can see, it's not overflowing or not filling up anymore. It'll only keep up to that level. When a drought hits, it will stop flowing, and this will drain very quickly because it's not even a block high. So you have to take that into consideration when you are playing this map. That being said, they can't take too many water pumps at the same time. So you have to make sure you try and find another water source and don't rely solely on this one. And next we'll move on to the aquifer. This is basically another water source they've added to the game, and you basically have to build a machine to tap into the water source. So it won't produce any water until you intervene. Also, like in real life, rivers and streams do dam up naturally. You might get a log that fall in there and it will clog up with all the debris that will flow down the river. So they've added that into the game. So we have here natural dams. So basically, rather than completely blocking the water source, it'll block it to a certain height and it will overflow. Just like a normal dam, kind of in the name, but just natural. And here we have, as you can see, some brambles, a dangerous obstacle for your beavers to try and get past. You can demolish them, but at the price of beavers getting injured. There's an increased chance beavers get injured when demolishing these brambles. Really good, I like this because it adds another depth of challenge to the game. As you can see here, when you start on this map, there's a bridge that comes across, a natural bridge, and you can get to these trees, but you have to get past the brambles to get to this resource. You have these ones here, but if you want more, You have to work for it. And as the game progresses and we have the ever-growing backstory of the humans disappearing and giant beavers taking over the world, we have relics that have been left behind by the said humans. And with these relics, you can basically demolish them to gain science points. So if you're struggling for science points, you can head to one of these, demolish it, and you will gain the knowledge of the humans' technology. Here we have the small relic, will grant you 200 science points. And here we have the medium relic, which will grant you 800 science points when you demolish it. Top score for whoever can guess what that is. And here finally we have the large relic, which when demolished will grant you 3000 science points. Damn, that's nice. And I think we all know what this could have been, but to the beavers, it was a bit of a lost technology left behind by the hairless ape that once ruled the planet, that they are going to destroy and learn from. Another natural object that the developers have added to the game is this. Kind of looks like an aquifer that's been opened, but it's not. It is a geothermal field. And with this, basically you can build a new building, I'll discuss that later, but you can gain power from it. The beavers can harness the heat from planet Earth itself. A lot of you may already know what this one is. If you don't know, it's called an unstable core. I'm assuming it is a core of nuclear waste left behind by the hairless apes that used to rule this planet all those years ago and disregarded nature and leaving the rubbish everywhere. Basically, you'll have a set timer for each one of these as you play the game, and as it starts flashing, it's close to the time that it's going to explode. And as you can see, when I've clicked on it, it's highlighted what will explode. And what I love about this is that they've, rather than it being placed here, there and everywhere, this will potentially cause a disaster for your beavers. As you can see here, we have this unstable core right next to this turd water source here, which at the minute is flowing this way. Once this explodes though, this is going to flow this way. And you may think that's not too bad, but it's going to poison your water system. Going to go into this lake here where the starting beavers are, and also flow down this way, down here, and if we go down, they'll completely poison all the water system underground. So it's going to be sad times for the beavers, basically. So that is why with these you kind of need to act quickly and try and get them sources out before it is too late for your beavers. Really, really cool feature. It kind of gives that, again, that extra challenge for the game. Rather than just trying to survive, you have this impending doom that your beavers have to successfully engineer and sort out. Really, really cool. Other sort of objects that the developers have added to the game are reserve warehouses, tanks and piles. I haven't actually found any yet, but here are what they will look like, and basically they were left behind from previous colonies that tried to succeed in that area but failed, left behind these old buildings that you can use. Now going back to the aquifers, as you can see here, to access the water that lies beneath, you will need a drill. But some of them already have one of these on them. Ancient aquifer drill. So basically all you'll need is a bit of power, a bit of elbow grease to get all the power to said drill, and you can just reuse this, or you can scrap it. It's up to you. But moving on from this, rather than just having an aquifer drill already there, you can build one yourself. And similar to the ancient aquifer drill, a bit of elbow grease, a bit of beaver power, and you can get it looking like this. Now, obviously, this does need power, it needs 400 horsepower, and you'll be able to use that to tap into the water underneath, once you get power to it, that is. Moving on for something else that beavers can build, we have a geothermal engine. Now, quite simple to build, all you need is 50 logs and 30 planks, and then you'll be able to produce 400 horses at a constant rate. Again, harnessing the energy of planet Earth itself to power a small kind of industrial area for your beavers. Very handy actually, these are, because obviously it requires no beavers to control it or be inside it. It will just run 24/7 for you. Love it. And they look really cool. They do look really, really cool. I love how they've done that. And these are not the only things that the developers have added to the game for your beavers to build. Here we have some banners. Be precisely, got a square banner down here and then a pole banner up here. And then you'll be able to add what picture you want to each one of these. So you can use these for various things, such as something like this. A nice little sign just to indicate where your beavers go to bed and where their home is. Home sweet home. But that is not the only thing you can do with these. You can also build something like this. A 12 by 12 high picture of a beaver's head. The beavers love it. So yeah, you can do things like this, or you could even use them to create words. Something like this. Subliminal messaging. The possibilities are like endless with these. I think they're an awesome feature to the colony, and they're going to make such a great addition for people's artistic side, shall we say. There is also one more thing the developers have added to the game, which I am extremely excited for. You may be able to see them already. These bad boys, a spiral staircase. Now, unlike your normal staircase, rather than 4 normal planks, they do take 4 treated planks. But with this, I mean, look at this, look how nice that is. Nice spiral there, going up to that there. You can get an elevation gain in a tighter area with these spiral staircases. Let me demonstrate. So I have 2 towers here, at exactly the same height, holding in exactly the same contemplation spots. But as you can see, the tower on the left is using a lot more triple platforms than the one on the right, and also takes up a lot more space. Rather than 3x3, you can get the same effect in a 2x2 space with these spiral staircases. It's hard to explain how many times I've kind of needed a spiral staircase. They are finally bringing them in. Now, another feature to this game that they've added. You place down some small tanks to hold water, but then you've got to go in and then change each one individually. Oh, to water. Oh, it takes ages. Oh, goodness. Well, not anymore. Now, the developers added a copy and paste tool. So you can change one to water. So now we're happy with this. All you need to do is press this button up here, copy settings, and you can do the same with each one, and just all you need to do is just click. So much easier. They've also added a duplicate tool. So if you're running out of tanks and you need more space, just press the duplicate, build it in, and they will already be set to store water. They've also changed the notifications and alert system. So as you can see, the top left here is your notification panel, informing you of the various things going on. And then down here we have alerts, will be down in the bottom left. A little bit getting used to, but I kind of like it. Yeah, I do quite like it, because you know, this will be up here with all your information on the beavers as well. And then down here will be solely just for alert. It will catch your eye more basically when it pops up down here, which an alert should do. They've also added animation updates for the beavers and the environment itself. Things such as death animation for the beavers, I'm not really ready for that, and the kits. Also idle animations, shower animations, the way water flows through dams and floodgates. They've also updated the water flow limitations. So basically this just allows water to move more naturally through the environment, so you won't have any more of those weird looking waterfalls or things like that. Hopefully it will be a lot more natural looking. There was one more thing I wanted to cover in this update, and that was the terrain block. To balance it out, they've increased the weight of the terrain block to 7 from 5 kilograms. This kind of got a couple of people confused, I think. People were worried about the affecting the overhang of when you're building with terrain blocks and stuff like that, but I believe all it will affect is the carrying capacity of the beavers themselves, so they'll only be able to carry so many blocks at a time. There is a lot more to this update that I actually haven't covered in this video. I wanted to kind of go over the main things that I'm excited for and not drag it on too much. So I'm going to leave a link in the description for the news article about this update from the developers themselves, so feel free to go through and click on that link and actually have a look at the update information yourself. But with that, I just wanted to do a little video about this update, explaining a few things that I'm excited for. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you had. Make sure you comment as well on things you're looking forward to in this update, and subscribe to my channel. It goes a long way, it means a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.